Hi everyone, this is Brett Pulte, Marketing and Communications Director here at the War Memorial. I just wanted to give a quick programming note to let you know we have a 3-part episode today detailing how you can help support the War Memorial and how your donations help our community. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Inside the Memorial. I'm your host, Maria Miller, president here at the wonderful War Memorial, and I'm happy to tell you a little bit about our space for those of you who are unfamiliar with it. We are located in Grosse Pointe Farms on beautiful Lake St. Clair. We have a house that anchors the site that is 115 years old now, and on either side we have a beautiful ballroom that hosts a ton of activities, all kinds of events from birth until death. And if we have on the other side lots of arts and education and just something for everybody. So we'll want you to come and check us out. Today, I am honored to have two of our own here. We have Meredith Hanoyan, our Director of Fundraising and Development, and we have Kelly Oliver, our Senior Director of Development. And so welcome both of you, because we're going to talk about fun things like giving.
Thank you for having us. We're excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you guys here. So I guess, Meredith, I'm going to kick it off to you and just tell us, because it's a tough topic about giving. Sometimes I think that might not be so easy to talk about, but why should people care? Why do you want anybody to care about giving to this place?
Oh, exactly. Separating people from their money is always a touchy issue, but we believe here that we have something beautiful that is a treasure in this community. And as you said, the War Memorial has been around for a long time. We were first founded in 1949, so this is actually our 75th year as a nonprofit in this community. And we have been here for generations of people who come through our doors, like you said, for different classes, events, enrichment opportunities, their own life celebrations, and also to show a demonstration of civic pride. This place was started from the Algers to really showcase and honor those who served our country, and we are so happy that's still part of our mission today. And so when we talk to people who've maybe attended a class or something, they don't really understand the plethora of what we do here. And so once we start to showcase a little bit more of what we do and how it affects this community and the people who come here in the broader region, they really see that we are sort of the beating heart of the community. And I think that's a wonderful way that we can demonstrate our love for this community and also help it grow and be sustained for another 75 years.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well said. And it's interesting because I did neglect the veteran component, which is so critical, and it's top of mind for me, but nerves took over and I didn't spit it out. But I think what's so special is when Marion Elger donated her home, ultimately that was what was in her heart was I want my home to be a living, breathing memorial or space for those who have served, those to remember those who have served, and to come here and enjoy. But I don't want it to be, the War Memorial in a way seems a bit of a somber name, but that wasn't her intent. And her intent was also to enrich the community. So let's just put it all together and, have a good time there. And you're right, 75 years later, we're still doing it. So I know we have Giving Tuesday coming up. And so in terms of the War Memorial, what are we up to for Giving Tuesday?
Yes, it's an exciting time. The Tuesday after Thanksgiving, it's now for many years has been an opportunity for people to express their gratitude and really through their donations after they spend all their money on small business and Black Friday and Cyber Monday and all these things nowadays to give back to the community. And there are so many wonderful charities in our world. And so we are very excited to be a part of it this year again for our second year. And so Giving Tuesday this year is December 3rd. And we are doing sort of a celebration of the 75 years again. And so since it is our 75th year, we're asking 1,000 people in our community to give $75. It doesn't have to be a huge amount to still make an impact here. And so if we have 1,000 people, which we have many, many more than that, come through our doors every single year.
Oh, absolutely.
And so if we have that many, we'll hit our goal of $75 $75,000 through our end of year giving, which feeds into our annual fund, which really supports all these beautiful programs and rich community events that we're able to provide.
I think that'll be so much fun tracking it. So, all right, we're at 50 people. We're at 100 people. Let's get up to 1,000. Let's go. Bring it on. So, Kelly, is there anything you would like to add from your perspective?
Well, I started here very end of February, and couldn't be happier to be here and honored to work for such a fine place. For me, philanthropy at the War Memorial is not just about raising money. It's not always just financial. It's about committing to this wonderful institution and giving back to the community. This place has meant so much to so many in this community, whether it be, my grandson does singing classes here. People get married here. People have baby showers here. My kids went to driver's ed here. There is literally something for everyone. And then we honor the best of the community on our walls. So what place is more special than the War Memorial?
Amen to that. Yeah, sign me up. I love it. Is there anything else that either of you would like to share?
There's all different types of giving, whether it be through an annual gift, through making small donations, because you've come to Summerfest, and even though some of our events are free to the public, you just want to give something back, and those are wonderful. But there's also people who think ahead and want to leave a lasting legacy. And we've formed the Moorings Legacy Society, and we now have estate planning, and we can talk to people about those kind of gifts. And really, if they want to make a lasting impact into all that we can do and all we can be throughout history of the community at the War Memorial. And also, if there's something in particular that resonates with you, if it's our veterans program, if it's preserving the historic house, sit down and talk to us. Go on the website, reach out to me. I'm on the website. And on the support page, you can click on Kelly Oliver, and right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's there.
warmemorial.org/support.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to talk to anyone at any time. So
that's great.
There's just something for everyone here.
There is something for everyone. I love that. Thank you. Anything else any parting remarks that you would?
No, we're just so happy to engage the community still after 75 years. And as Kelly said, if it's a small one-time gift, a monthly gift, a planned gift for the future, or if you have a business or company and want to be a part of our events through a sponsorship and kind donations, we are happy to customize any way and really engage people where they're at. What do they love about us? Because so many people have a story here. And this year, our 75th year, we've been highlighting stories of families, couples, people who've walked through as artists or young professionals, and really see how this place has impacted their life. And so everyone sort of hits us at a different level, and we would love to be able to customize that for anyone and really help them engage us and continue our mission for the next 75 years.
Amen to that too. No gift is too small. No gift is too large. So we'd be happy with anything. You're right. The next 75 years, that's kind of my mantra too. Let's just keep her going.
Exactly.
How do listeners find us?
Well, at our website, www.warmemorial.org. And is the tab for support, or you can just do /support. And on that has a list of all of our funds, different ways to engage with us, and of course, how to contact us for any questions.
And we have a sponsorship catalog with all our events that are going to be available in 2025 coming up in the very near future. So keep posted for that, because there's something for everyone at the War Memorial.
Thank you. Oh, yes.
Oh, I forgot. On Giving Tuesday, if we do have anyone who wants to donate $250 or more, they will get our new beautiful War Memorial Christmas tree ornament as a gift. So stay tuned. That will also be on our social media pages and our website.
Oh, fun. That's nice. And that one is really very pretty. Very pretty ornament.
Don't watch. My family's getting these. So. Don't too close.
Meredith, Kelly, thank you so much for taking some time and sharing with people how we impact the community.
Happy to be here.
How to help. Thank you. So today I'm excited to talk with our guests, who are actually two of our own. We have Miss Leah Chelaby, our Vice President of Community Engagement and Programming, and Jennifer Sutton is our Director of Public Programming and Special Events. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
I'm excited because we're in the dance studio. And the dance studio are classes that you folks put together, right? You get the instructors and you put all these classes, and we've got a community room, we have an art room, we have all kinds of things going on here. If you think about who we are as a nonprofit, why we exist, the home was gifted to the community back in 1949, so we're 75 years old. There's a mix of paid programming, but then, we take the donations to offer the free event. So can you talk a little bit about some of the things that, you look to do with regards to helping all members of the community be able to come here and enjoy this space?
For sure. I think first and foremost, our patriotic programming is it's always free for veterans. So, and these our sponsorship dollars, our donor dollars, they go to assisting us and supporting us in offering Memorial Day, our Veterans Day breakfast, our Vietnam Veterans Lunch, everything that our vet-to-vet coffee hours and then also just helps us think outside the box and what else can we do and what other resources can we provide that we wouldn't be able to do without support.
Absolutely. I like to tell people that they think that we've got it all going on because we have a lot of beautiful weddings here, and it's a gorgeous ballroom. We were fortunate enough to have somebody fund the full development and construction of that ballroom, but that was it. It took that much money and then some. And then, there's only so many weekends in the year. There's only so many weddings you can have. There's only so much. And then guess what? You have a 115-year-old home, just about 115 now. It needs a lot of repair. If you were to tear, the roof eventually would be an easy, cool $1 million to replace that baby. Their work kind of funds the mission, and you folks are both the mission work. So is there anything with regards to, some of them, speaking of the legacy of our institution, any of the legacy events that we've brought back, anything you want to talk about specifically there?
Yeah, there's so many. We've this past summer we brought back Summerfest, which that goes back before me. I've only been here for 3 years, but this summer I think it was, from what I could tell, one of the biggest attended summers. Jen could speak to that.
What was really great about this year's Summerfest is we were able to offer all of the concerts for free. And then we added a VIP ticket this year, so some people could purchase a VIP ticket, essentially becoming a small donor to Summerfest by doing that and supporting that. So we were able to offer the concert for free to everybody. So that was a great thing. We also did a free movie night. We're planning on that was a huge success for us. So we're planning on growing that next year, adding another movie night. So just the back lawn is such a. I've only been here for a year, but it's such a fun place to program. It's gorgeous back there. So it's great to be able to take advantage of it when we can, in between the weddings and whatnot. So.
I love seeing the boaters come. And they come for, and Leah, you mentioned the veteran events. Those are really, some are very reverent, some are very celebratory, but they're just moving. All of them are very moving and experiential. But then when you see people on boats and they come and they pay tribute on Memorial Day, and that's, they'll come for Summerfest. I saw them for Summerfest. If the water's too choppy, certainly we don't see any, but that's always fun to see that kind of thing going on. Jen, can you talk a little bit about what, because I know there is a lot that goes into curating an event. Anything that you want to share?
Yeah, I think people are kind of surprised by some of the minutia when you get into it. I think people think, "Oh, that sounds like such a fun job," and I've been doing.
You mean it's not?
It is. But I've been working in special events for about 20 years. So I've only been here for about a year. But especially outdoor events, there's so many facets that you need to consider, from the logistics of getting people in safely to getting them out safely in the event something occurred that you would have to close it, or watching the weather report for days at a time and seeing there's a 30% chance of rain, but I'm going to go for it because I think it's going to work out. So there's there's a lot of risk taking in it, and then I try to remove that risk taking by laying it out as minutely as possible of all the different pieces out to try to reduce our exposure, I guess, in as much as I can. But at the end of the day, with the weather,
you can only control so much.
The weather is the weather. So, like with D-Day this year, we were so excited we were going to have a big flyover as part of the ceremony, and I was so excited about that. And it was like down to, and then it was finally like an hour before they had to make the call that it was just too windy, and we couldn't have the planes, and I was so bummed. But there's just so many things you
and
just
that one
can't,
was so funny because people thought, and I think Selfridge Air Show was going on that weekend, following weekend, so people were thinking, oh, come on, they're fighter planes, they can do that. It's like, no, these are like kind of old, really. They're coming not from Selfridge.
No, they were from the Tuskegee Airmen National Museum. So it was it would have been a very cool show, which is a bummer, but hopefully we'll find another time that's not so windy. We'll bring them back out.
Well, and to piggyback on what Jenna's saying, like that conversation about the wind started that morning. We got a text from the guy we were working with to coordinate the air show. He's like, I don't know, guys. The wind's looking like, we're like, please no. Don't say that. And it was just like this constant rechecking throughout the day. So, there's always like, you need plan B, you need plan C sometimes. And sometimes you have to throw all plans out the window and just improvise. So
well, and I'm excited. One of the legacy events is Santa's coming on a helicopter. Santa comes on a helicopter to the War Memorial.
Absolutely.
And do you know how that started?
I don't know.
That's new here. So
that's something that I know goes back way before me, and it was one of the traditions I couldn't wait to bring back after we, brought back Breakfast with Santa after COVID. If that was the one thing that we could do, that first year, even though some of us were still in masks at the time, I was like, Santa is coming in on that iconic helicopter. So it's been great. It's been great. People love it.
And that would be one I would imagine you have to have plan B and C. And
we have an in-house Santa just in case. So he's behind the camera
just in case,
here.
The helicopter can't land or what have you.
Aren't giving our secrets away. Well, I mentioned we're sitting in the art studio, which I'm so grateful that our wonderful campus and facilities team. Thank you. Shout out to you guys for all the hard work you do. And gosh, they brought it back to life. I had a mint green paint on it. It was all beat up. It really was pretty. It just needed to be updated. And
for sure.
So it's really pretty. And I think before, we close, I certainly want you to have a chance to say anything else that you want to talk about. But I want to touch upon the Children's Enrichment Fund. I'm not sure that it gets taken advantage of as often as it could. So are you seeing much use or here and there?
Yeah. Well, last year, for the first time, we offered I think we called it was a trunk or treat, a Halloween trunk or treat. And we wanted to, bring together a fund to be able to support people and families and children who, didn't have the means to be able to participate in any of our classes. And specifically at that time, it was about Campville. And
summer camps are expensive.
Yes, summer camps are expensive, and we wanted to be able to help relieve some of that. So we threw our first trunk or treat with the proceeds going to that, and that helped got it started. We had a couple donors come forward to help seed that even more. So this summer we gave away.
Yeah, we had a couple. 2 or 3, I think 3 campers, and so they got to attend the camp 50% off. Yeah. So with the Children's Enrichment Scholarship, which is great.
I love that.
Yeah.
And then this fall we threw the Halloween Spooktacular, which was also proceeds go to support that fund as well. It grew twice as much as last year.
So we had over 600 people on October 27th. Here for There was a trunk or treat element. We added magic show, pumpkin patch, just more.
Just more.
Yeah, bigger team, bigger stuff. Yeah. So,
But I think at the end of the day, it goes back to the saying of like everything that we do here is for the community,
right?
And this place, its purpose was for the community and to enrich lives, and that's kind of what we try to do. in everything that we program, whether it's a class, whether it's a charcuterie learning, event, or a wine tasting, watercolor class. I mean, it's really something that we want to be here for people to come enrich their lives, learn something new. And
Right. I mean, we're doing the same thing we've been doing for 75 years.
That's right.
And I'm really proud of it. I'm proud of both of you for the hard work that you put in to making sure that there is something for everybody.
Yeah.
Is there anything else to share before we sign off?
I mean, it's just I feel personally honored to be here and to be a part of kind of that legacy, that history of the War Memorial. And if, we can have a little stamp on that, that's meaningful to me.
I love that. I feel the same.
Yeah.
Thank you both. John, Lee, I appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Recently, we had the privilege of speaking with the National Director of Planned Giving Services from Northern Trust, Katrina Pipasts. She joined us to discuss the importance of planned giving and how you can help support the War Memorial by joining the Moorings Legacy Society through a planned gift. Today, I am excited about our topic, and we will be talking about some giving options that we have to support our organization and that you can take with you to support any organization that really talks to you and speaks to your heart. Our guest today is Katrina Pipasts, and she is the Senior Vice President of Planned Giving Services with Northern Trust. We have recently started a planned giving program here at the War Memorial, and we have dubbed it the Moorings Legacy Society, easy for me to say, Moorings Legacy Society. And the Moorings term comes from it was an endearing term that the owners of this home had given to the estate because of the mooring poles that were out anchored in the lake, the red and white stripe. So the Moorings Legacy Society is our new planned giving program. And welcome, Katrina, with that huge, long, blah, blah, blah introduction. Thank you
very much, Maria, for having me here today. It's a great honor to be here and to also see this beautiful space. Wonderful.
Isn't it something? So is this your first time here?
Yes, it is.
Oh, well, we'll give you the grand tour afterwards. So can you talk to us a little bit about really why is it important? Why is it important to plan for tomorrow?
Okay. So perhaps I should start off with the definition of what planned giving actually means.
Perfect.
And that is actually the allocation of resources. And it's in support of a nonprofit organization such as yours, the War Memorial. And it's either gifted during a person's life or upon their death. So typically, planned giving assets are the wealth that an individual has accumulated. It is not really current income. So it is something that you have saved and you are planning to gift it, either, in the form of a major gift, but sometimes also thinking more about how it could be a planned gift. So something for the future,
right?
Not actually participating today in potentially for an annual fund.
Right.
But you're planning, and you might be able to gift a lot more money upon death than perhaps you might be able to gift today because you have accumulated assets.
So is this a difficult topic for people to kind of talk about in your experience? Because you've been doing this, you've been at it for a couple years, I'm sure.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think everyone you should be planning. I think when you have a family, you plan, you sort of have to plan for you don't want to die early, but,
right.
Insurance, being able to pay off the mortgage. So you are already planning, you're saving for college, you're saving for retirement. But also there's a component where you can really save for the future to support nonprofits that are important for you. And I think it doesn't always have to be someone who is older. You can already start it with younger professionals who have started in the workforce and already plant the seed for them to start thinking about supporting nonprofits, not just one, but everything that's important to them.
Oh, I love that, because the young folks that they're not thinking they're not thinking that far ahead, and they may not even be planning for their own future necessarily.
Right.
So, so starting that conversation early, do you find younger people receptive?
Yes, I think so. I think I always use my daughter as an example. And when she started working, she had the 401k plan and she wanted to put me down as the beneficiary. And I'm like, perhaps think about putting down a nonprofit. And not that you have to put 100%. You can put 5%. You can put 10%. It's not
that is true.
It's not. And also I think individuals, my age, your children are done with college, the mortgage, the house is paid off, you've saved for retirement, and that's a good time to also think about what changes potentially do I change in my will to support a nonprofit. I think the one nice thing about supporting a nonprofit is, if you leave money to people, individuals, your family, they're going to be taxed on it potentially. But when it's left to a nonprofit, it's not taxed because it's going, to someone who's a 501c3 organization.
Right. So that organization gets 100% of whatever percent you've given.
Right.
Right.
And I think individuals have to also think about just not, giving a specific dollar amount. You could leave 100% of your estate, or you leave 10,000 or 100,000 or a percentage of your estate, or it can also be contingent, depending upon, your life's family circumstances, that after, if my spouse predeceases me or my partner predeceases me, then X percent will go to the War Memorial.
Right.
You can really structure it any way
you absolutely can. This reminds me of something I had listened to earlier on, a long time ago, back in my healthcare days, and it was about people not really wanting to think about their wills and not thinking about how they want to die. And I know that's kind of a morbid discussion, but kind of there was this whole podcast that I listened to was about where's the best place to die, the best city to die in, and it was somewhere in the Illinois area. But anyhow, the idea was they were all doing their advance directives, and there was pressure on incoming neighbors to, do you have your advance directives done, and do you have your will done, and do you have this done, and do you have that done? You got to plan for these things because yeah. And so this kind of fits a little portion of that, doesn't it?
It does. And just going back to what you said about people not wanting to plan for their own death. When I walked into your space here, there's the reflection pool remembering 9/11. Yes. And when 9/11 happened, I had a lot of young professionals who reported to me. And I asked them all, how many of you have a will? And maybe 1 or 2 out of 10 raised their hands.
Wow.
And then it was like, think about what happened, last month. And that is a reason why you have a will.
Absolutely.
For your family, for the nonprofits that mean something to you. It doesn't really matter how old you are. You should plan. And that is one thing that I felt was like an eye-opener to many of the younger professionals that I worked with.
Right. Anything in this world is crazy and all kinds of things happen every day, so it is good to plan. So we'll talk about a myriad of ways to support the War Memorial. What can donors do to support, from your perspective, our organization?
Well, I think if we start with how you can give today, it is low basis stock is a really nice donation. Because the donor gets both the charitable deduction as well as avoiding the capital gains that being taxed on the capital gains of that security. So that's a really easy way to support an organization today. Likewise, you can also, in a bequest, say, X number of shares of whatever company you hold, you could write that into your will as well. Another way to do it is through a donor advised fund. Many individuals have established donor advised funds, and when the donor gifts into that donor advised fund, that's when they receive that charitable deduction. But then they have the ability to make ongoing gifts in the form of a grant to, to an organization such as yours. And then the third way for individuals who are 70 and a half, reach that age, and they have an IRA, the required, to satisfy their required minimum distribution through a qualified charitable distribution, the QCD, that's another great way. The bonus is that you're supporting a nonprofit and they receive 100% of whatever you decide to give them through this QCD. And now it's up to $105,000 that could be given in any one given year. But also you as the donor making this distribution from your IRA, you're not taxed on that money. So had you received that money in your required minimum distribution, you would be taxed on it.
Okay, I was going to ask you that. So what is the alternative if they don't do that? They're just taxed on it.
They're taxed on it
as they take it
So
out.
why not take advantage of that?
Right.
And I think that's another great way to accomplish supporting the War Memorial today. Now, if we look at ways on how an individual can support in the future, transfer on death, TOD accounts, and payable on POD accounts, those are your checking account, savings account, CDs, your brokerage account. You can already get in touch with your bank or the trust company or your brokerage firm, and they have beneficiary designation forms, and you can already fill that out, that a percentage of my checking account or, savings account can be designated in a beneficiary designation to the War Memorial. So that's another easy way.
That's an interesting one. And I'm thinking about, I have a trust, what is it, a living trust. And so my accounts are set up that way. If I had wanted to do that, I couldn't just go to the bank then, right? I have to go back to my trust and then have that amended.
Correct.
To include it. Okay.
Correct. And I think the one thing that every individual who is a donor is really, you have to talk to your tax attorney or the CPA firm that you work with. Get really good legal and tax advice from them. I think that's, the great starting point is, talking with your family about, what your intentions are, but also getting legal and tax advice on how best to structure any of these types of gifts. Another one to think about is life insurance. Individuals take out life insurance, for that, untimely death, but that's also potentially, you can name a nonprofit to be the recipient of a life insurance policy. So that's another thing.
That is a wonderful way. And we have one situation, at least that I'm aware of here at the War Memorial, that somebody had done and opened the policy specifically in the War Memorial's name. And I mean, it's an amazing gift, and hopefully for them, we don't cash it in for a very, very, very long time.
Right.
But you've got some long-term funds there, waiting, and it's a beautiful gift. It costs them a fraction of what the payout will ultimately be.
Right. Then there's also, in the terms of continuing along the lines of a beneficiary designation, individuals who have like a 401k plan or an IRA, you can also have a beneficiary designation form filled out with a percentage or all of those assets going to a nonprofit. So there are easy ways to already facilitate beneficiary designations. I think, 85% of all I think that's the statistic out there. Many nonprofits don't even know that they're named in somebody's will.
Oh my goodness.
So it is like when establishing like a legacy society, such as the Mooring Society, that recognizing people while they're alive, that they have made the commitment to support the War Memorial, that is really powerful, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Recognizing people while they're alive. And I know that there are some people who shy away from the publicity, but what a great way to establish a legacy society and recognize these individuals. So it's like, I think we tend not to encourage people to let me know that I'm in the will or something like that. But I think
but it's okay. Let us know. It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. Because, they're supporting, what you do here.
Yeah.
And I think that's just wonderful that you have donors who are willing to also be part of this society and also encourage their friends or, others who want to keep the legacy of this beautiful place alive.
And I absolutely love that, and honoring and recognizing people while they are alive. And I think probably a misconception I may have had, and we can talk about misconceptions that others that you find maybe have, is even thinking about it can be any percent or a specific dollar amount. Do you find that with anybody that you're working with, or do they think that it's like all or nothing, or no, I can leave a small amount, or, is that conversation had?
So I work with the institution, so I'm working with the nonprofit, so I don't really see the donor side of it. But I think that when individuals are told you don't have to give us 100%, I think they're a little bit more interested
Got
in
kids,
it.
I want to leave it to my family.
There are a couple of organizations that I know of where to belong to this society, you have to make a donation of, $1,000, and then you are part of this group. So that's another way of, people want to belong to
something
like a group.
Kind of, right.
Yeah.
And that's special.
And it's special.
It's not just anybody can
right. Join. And I understand that not everyone will want to say how much dollars I might be, potentially donating to you in a bequest or something like that. But just that the intention is there. And granted, a donor can always change their will if they wanted to, but if they believe in your mission, I don't think that they will.
And I believe our mission is getting even stronger. It just feels that we're on this wonderful ride of 75 years we've been here, and to continue on for at least the next 75. It's been the same mission to really honor our veterans, enrich the community, and we deliver these amazing experiences here, and we hope that the community does appreciate it. We had our annual gala this past year, and it was really the first time that we tried something in terms of an auction, and I'm not sure what was done in the past, and there's always a capital campaign, or maybe it was just a party like, hey, we're here, and they break even or lose money. And this year we actually, it was for the house. The house is 114 years old. It's in desperate need of repair. That will never end. We have, a roof replacement that will be $1 million ultimately when we do repair that. I hear knocking going on right now with the I think they just turned the boilers on, so we'll be getting heat in this room. But so we got boilers to replace and things like that. So it's always going to be something. But I was thrilled with what the community. It warmed my heart that this organization meant something to people, that they were just like, yes, I want to give, and it just blew me away. And I would be blown away with any type of giving to the Moorings Legacy Society. It would just more than warm my heart. It just means something to the community, and I love it. So can you talk a little bit more about donor advised funds? How does somebody, is there a certain threshold? Is this for those who are very wealthy, that have a donor advised fund that they give to? It's a vehicle, right?
It's a vehicle. And I think it Not necessarily you have to have a lot of wealth, but some people use it very strategically. Let's say they have low basis stock, okay, and the cost basis was $10,000, and they have the market value currently today is $50,000. Okay, do you want to parse out and send, 10 shares here, 10 shares here, 10 shares here? That's administrative nightmare. So you can establish a donor advised fund, and there you would establish it with your $50,000 worth of stock. And in that one specific year, that's when you get the tax deduction, your charitable deduction, when you gift that $50,000. Okay. So in your next year, maybe if you're itemizing, or if you're not able to reach that threshold of itemizing, that's a great way of then making grants to a nonprofit. So if you want to support many nonprofits, you can give $1,000 to one nonprofit, $1,000 to another one. So it allows you not, as the donor, you receive your charitable deduction in year one, but the money is also invested in the donor advised fund. And so it potentially, you hope it grows.
Right.
Right. So you have received your charitable deduction, and hopefully the asset grows, but you can then make multiple grants to numerous organizations. So it's your administrative, you're just telling your donor advised fund administrator
where to go to.
Where to go to. So it's
I think that would be so much fun to be able to help so many charities.
Right.
Is it any financial institution? I mean, or is it kind of a bigger one like Northern Trust that would have a donor advised fund?
A lot of the brokerage firms also have it, and most banks, trust companies do.
Help you out. Right.
Also, community foundations have donor advised funds. So depending upon what community you are in, that's another way to go, is supporting through that.
Right. It is, as we said, a vehicle, a wonderful tool. And I'm just glad we are a recipient of some of those. So I'm certainly, again, very grateful. What about a deferred gift? What's that all about?
So that one would be that the gift, such as a charitable gift annuity or a charitable remainder trust, when the donor passes away, that is when the money goes to the nonprofit. But during the donor's lifetime, they're receiving an annuity. So they are receiving money based upon whether they've set up a charitable gift annuity or a charitable remainder trust. So it's actually, I would say, like a win-win for the donor, because they're receiving a life income stream, and upon their death, the assets that were in that charitable gift annuity or the charitable remainder trust would then go to the nonprofit.
So let's just say $10,000. So if they put $10,000 into this kind of deferred annuity, right? Is there a tax then implication on that year where they have they can deduct that as a gift? So in year one, but they continue to receive 5, 6, 7, whatever, however they invest it, of that goes back to them.
Okay, so let's start off with the basics.
I'm trying to get into the math.
So a charitable gift annuity would be established typically anywhere from $10,000 to $10,000, $25,000, $50,000,
okay,
going up. The American Council on Gift Annuities has a schedule of rates that you, depending upon your age, would receive then for your lifetime. Typically, most donors who are interested in a charitable gift annuity are probably going to be in their mid-70s because they would like to have a life income stream, once they retire. So if for a 70-year-old, if the payout rate is 5%, so on $10,000, they would be receiving $500 each year for the rest of their life, for their entire when they make that $10,000 gift to establish that charitable gift annuity, a portion of it will be a charitable deduction, so an immediate charitable deduction.
Okay.
Then when they are receiving that $500 payment, the annuity payment, a portion of it will be tax-free, and a portion of it will be taxed at ordinary income.
Okay.
It is taxed, a portion of it is tax-free and ordinary income until the annuitant reaches their life expectancy. And after that, looking at all the actuarial tables, after that, then it is taxed at ordinary income. So during that period of when the individual starts receiving that annuity payment until their life expectancy, if you add up all the tax-free income and the immediate charitable deduction that they got, that is actually the equivalent of what you would have received as a charitable deduction had you done an outright gift.
Okay, but it gives you the benefit of giving a little stream of income depending on whatever it is.
Right.
Oh my goodness. There are so many options out there, aren't there?
Then the other one is the charitable remainder trust.
Okay.
And that is similar to the charitable gift annuity, but the charitable remainder trust is one where low basis stock is really a nice, if you have a big chunk of low basis stock that you want to gift into a charitable remainder trust. Other individuals sometimes do real estate, artwork, and then when that asset is sold, then the trust flips, and then they would start receiving an annuity payment. And here this typically is facilitated, with the work of counsel, a tax attorney, everyone who you need from the legal world to be opine on everything.
Right. Bring the specialists in.
Right.
Special teams.
And then there's a whole bunch of math that goes behind it. But typically it's the minimum payout amount is 5%. And so for a charitable remainder unit trust, what happens is that every single year, based upon it's written in the trust document, the trust gets revalued. So let's say you start off with $1 million trust, you're going to receive 5%, so you're getting $50,000. The next year, if the market value has decreased, you'll get less, but it will be times whatever the market value of the trust is, times 5%. As the market value goes up, you might receive more than $50,000.
So it can be artwork?
Yes. Yep.
And so the art is valued, and
the art is valued.
Does the owner still owe the art, or
no?
So
then
art goes bye.
Yes.
It's sold off. I assume.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But most individuals use, who have wealth will typically we see more low basis stock as being gifted, and also real estate.
Okay. Real estate makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And the stock, of course. Wow. Okay. So there is a lot to consider and a lot of options. I'm sure we've missed all kinds of things. Is there anything else you can think of that you would want to share?
Just telling people about how important the War Memorial is, and truly preserving the mission and the vision, and really just getting people involved in giving today, but also planting the seed, that they really consider doing a beneficiary designation. When you think about statistically that 85% of people have named a nonprofit and the nonprofit doesn't even know about it. I think it's just great to be able to promote that,
Well, and I would want to appreciate that person, family or whatever, while they're alive if I knew. So,
and I think then also you then have a connection with that family.
We would.
And that and the continuity. And I think many times individuals who know that their parents or their spouse has supported an organization, and if you embrace them, there will be more individuals from that family who potentially will continue to support your mission.
Right. Because the behavior's modeled.
Yes.
The example's been modeled. So this is great. Katrina, thank you so much for coming and sharing a little bit of time and your knowledge. And I think I should have an off sidebar with you about my own. Not that I have millions to give, but like you said, any little bit helps. So thank you to our listeners for hopefully you all learned something. I know I certainly did. And I appreciate your time and your attention. And please feel free to visit our website, warmemorial.org, certainly for all of our upcoming events. But this information will be linked there, and ways to give to the War Memorial are certainly there. I appreciate you. Our team appreciates you. And the legacy of this organization appreciates you. Thank you so much. Peace and blessings.